Good morning, all those who love books, love literature, who subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is Johnny. Here in West Michigan, it is 9:20 in the morning. It is October the 18th. It is a Sunday morning. I was kind of torn about making a video, and because I don't find making videos, well, I don't, to me, I do things spontaneously. I just turn the camera on and thought I'd make a video just to say hi. Hope you're had a good weekend. This is a Sunday, so it's the beginning of a new week, and we're going towards the end of the month. Today's the 18th. It's been a weekend. As I said in my last video, I watch college football on Saturdays and professional football on Sundays. But I do read when I'm watching football, and yesterday I was reading this book. I got this last week. My wife and I, we had to go to Zeeland, which is north of us, just as, it's not that bad, maybe 10 minutes from where we live, to get sunflower seeds for our bird feeder. And when we're out doing errands, we go to thrift stores and look for used books. And in Zeeland, there's a couple of thrift stores, a Goodwill. And at Goodwill, one of the used books I bought was this book. It's called In Europe, Travels to the 20th Century by Geert. This is translated out of the Dutch by, it says, Geert is a journalist and historian and one of Holland's best-selling writers. This is translated from the Dutch by Sam Garrett. So I was reading this yesterday as I was watching football. What he does is, like it says, he travels to the 20th century. It's like this journalist, and he's traveling through Europe. And as he's traveling in his van, where he goes different places, like Italy or Spain or Austria or Germany, he talks about history of what took place historically in these places. Like I was reading yesterday, he was up in the Pyrenees Mountains there in Spain, and he talked about the Spanish Civil War. And then he was in Vienna, and he talked about when Hitler joined the Austria to Germany and the persecution of the Vienna Jews and things like that. I don't know. So I've been reading this in the afternoons. And I mentioned I got a New York Review book. This is the one I got in the mail last week. Lady Macbeth of Mtsensk, Selected Stories of Nikolai Leskov. This is translated out of the Russian by Donald Rayfield and others. So I was reading this the other day. I got a couple of the New York Review of Books is reissuing two novels by William Gaddis, J.R. and Recognitions, which comes out this month on the 20th, and I have pre-ordered those. I already have copies of them, but mine are older copies, and these are new editions, and I look forward to getting those in the mail. I also have another book coming in the mail, published by the New York Review of Books, It's like an anthology on politics, essays on politics. So that's what I've been reading in the weekend. Like I said, in the mornings when I get up, I write in my diary, my paper diary. I also write in my online diaries. I usually do that in the afternoons. I write in Live Journal. Crooked Fingers is my username, and then I paste what I write in Crooked Fingers in 3 other online diaries. But in my paper diary, I'm on page 981 for the year 2020. Like I said, it's November the 18th, 2020. I'm on my second folder. As you all know, first folder is from the 1st of the month to the 15th of the month. And then I go into the second folder, which starts on the 16th. And I write in here until the end of the month. I usually write at least 65, 70, maybe 75 pages a month. In the mornings, as I said, I'm reading from the Bible, the Old Testament. I'm in the book of Joshua. I'm on chapter 20. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on chapter 20 of the book of Joshua, Old Testament. And I showed you these, Anthony Burgess. This 2-volume just came out, appeared in reprint. Christ's Prayer Before His Passion, volumes 1 and 2. Expository sermons on John 17. So I've been reading this in the mornings. And like I said, I read the Bible and prayer and meditation and contemplation in my spiritual books up until noontime. In the afternoons, I read something serious like In Europe, travels through the 20th century. In the evenings, I'll read something more literary fiction like this. He lived from, it says here he was born in 1831 and he died in 1895. The guy who wrote these short stories. So yeah, I don't know what I'll be reading in the evenings and afternoons next week, or this week, Monday. I know I'll be reading, as I said, throughout in the mornings. I'm trying to stick with Anthony Burgess, Christ's Prayer Before His Passion, expository sermons on John 17. This morning I'm reading what sermon am I on? Sermon 6 of heavenly mindedness, showing that we should seek both earthly and heavenly blessings. The chief for this end, namely that God may be glorified. The text is John 17:1. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee. Still have on my desk this book, Biblical Theology According to the Apostles, How the Earliest Christians Told the Story of Israel, by Bruno, Geert, Compton, and Kevin McFadden. So yeah, I spent a lot of time writing in my online diaries, my paper diary. This time in the fall, my wife likes having football on. Before I married my wife 41 years ago. I didn't really watch football, but when I married my wife, she grew up in a family that watched football and baseball and things like that. And so over the years, I've gotten into watching football. And so yeah. So on Saturdays and Sundays, it's football. Now, I'm not a fanatic of football. I'm not really a sports fanatic. But I do like watching the games with my wife. My wife leaves tomorrow for Denver, Colorado. Our daughter is having her baby this week, her 4th child, and supposed to be born the 21st of October. So tomorrow afternoon, my wife flies out to Denver for 2 weeks. And tomorrow, the landscaping fellow and his landscaping business is going to start landscaping our property. So that should be interesting, having everything torn out, all the old bushes and trees and everything being landscaped. I took pictures of last week and to have old, what it was before and what after. So if you want to look, I can always point you to my Flickr account if you want to see the photos. So that's about it here in the Hermit Hut. The weather here today is gray. It's supposed to rain. I think we've reached the peak of the autumn colors. The trees are falling. The leaves are all falling. And so yeah, my wife leaves and I'll be here for 2 weeks by myself, writing in my diary, drinking coffee, reading Puritan, 17th century Puritan theology and spirituality, reading the Old Testament, the book of Joshua, going after Joshua is Judges, and then you have Ruth, and then you have 1st and 2nd Samuel, and 1st and 2nd Kings, then you go into Chronicles. So I don't know what else I'll be reading this week. I mean, I have 2 stacks of used books that we got at thrift stores last week. I'll show those in a video this week. That's it. So I thank you for the comments, and I thank you for the new subscribers, and I do hope you had a good weekend, that you have a good new week, and hope you're all well, that you don't have this COVID pestilence, the plague. And until next time, bye. I can't think of anything else to say. Told you what I've been reading. I'm on page 981 in my paper diary for the year 2020. Reading the book of Joshua, watching the birds, seeking to live a simple Christian life in the wasteland, praying that we would have peace on earth. Until next time, bye.